Hello and welcome to the Gippsland Art Gallery. My name is Gregg. I'm the director of the gallery, and it's my very great pleasure to introduce you today to one of our new exhibitions. This exhibition is Recent Acquisitions. So these have all come to the gallery in the last year or two. We've received nearly 200 artworks during that time, and of those, almost 80% have actually been donated. So we're very grateful to all the supporters of the gallery, people who've given works, who've enabled us to purchase artworks. Without their support, none of this would be possible. So what I'm going to do today is to give you a little bit of a walk through this exhibition. I'll just point out that this is a 360-degree tour, so that if you're holding a phone, you can actually move your phone through space and see everything around me. You don't have to look at me, you don't even have to look at the artwork that I'm talking to, and if you're on a computer, you can use your mouse to navigate through as well. Now, I've never done anything like this before, so it's all exciting, this new technology, so I do hope you enjoy this short tour. I'm going to start by having a look at Stephen Haley's picture, Mesh, which came to us last year. This is a large oil painting that shows a kind of an idea of a virtual future. So talking to Stephen about this work, he's told me about how he was imagining a future where everything is reliant on new technology, on, we communicate through technology, and I thought it was a particularly timely work in the current environment, how we are all relying on technology to communicate. We're looking at artworks on screen, and here we have a traditionally painted oil painting that describes this new technology. The title Mesh refers to the 3D graphics that he's used on his computer. He's actually modelled this entire image on his screen before painting it. And I like that contradiction that he's using the traditional medium of oil on canvas to describe this futuristic new world. If there are any themes within this exhibition, it's probably the strangeness in the landscape, the natural environment, and perhaps transformation as well. So next to Stephen Haley's picture, we've got an image by Pollock's Papa Petru, which was donated to us from Polly's family after she passed away a couple of years ago. This is an image called Salt Man, and what Polly does in a lot of her works was to get her own children into costume, and she would then photograph them in the natural environment. And over the years, we've kind of grown up with Polly's children in a way, and we've seen them transform from young children into adults. So Salt Man is another example of that. We see one of her children, it might be Solomon, it might be Olympia, we can't be quite sure in this one, almost transforming before us, obviously wearing a ghillies costume, it's like a camouflage you would use in the army. But she's used it in this instance to kind of become a metaphorical look at the way we change, that we grow. This is a state of in-betweenness, sort of becoming from one thing to another. This is a theme that carries through a lot of these images. On the right, we have a print by Judy Watson. On the left, Graham Peebles, Light Shaft, an extraordinary mezzotint work which we acquired last year. But I wanted to come here to Kevin Mortensen's work, God Only Knows, which we purchased with the assistance of the Robert Salsa Foundation at the end of 2018. So this is a work that describes the natural environment at Venus Bay on the South Gippsland coast, near where Kevin lives. And this is a work that's obviously not a traditional depiction of the landscape. We've got a lot of crazy things happening in the sky here. I did describe it once as Starry Night Comes to Gippsland. You could certainly interpret this in a number of ways, but talking to Kevin about his intentions of the work, he does talk about all the life that he's surrounded by, all the organisms in the water, which he's essentially dragged out of the water and placed it into the sky above us. And you can see all sorts of different things going on there. I can actually see a bit of an eagle head with an eye and a beak. The eagle was another recurrent theme within Kevin's work. So fascinating piece there. We're going to walk past Benjamin Armstrong's sculpture Conjurer on my right, which is another example of something growing or mutating perhaps in front of us. This is a work that I think looks particularly effective in this space because of the timber that is used, and it's as if this creature has just crawled out of the floor right in front of us and is reaching out towards us. A number of other works over here, different materials, different themes. We've got Rick Amell's major work, The On-Ramp, another oil on canvas, which was donated generously by the artist last year. A kind of absent, empty landscape focusing on the clouds above this on-ramp to the highway. And then not far from this, we've actually got a piece by Zeta Kanter, who's a Latvian-born textile artist now based in South Gippsland. And there's a kind of interesting relationship between these two, where you've got the denuded landscape. In Rick Amell's case, it's the urban, and in Zeta's textile work called Wild Woods, it's the natural environment. It's meant to be, you know, you go out to the bush, but here there are no trees. They've all been torn down. So what we've got instead in its place is this kind of empty, charred, blackened landscape with the swirling clouds above it. And in the middle, we've got a little print by Lionel Lindsay called The Great Red Gum, which is perhaps suggestive of what is missing from Rick Amell's and Zeta Kanter's works. So Lionel Lindsay's etching was done in 1922. He was interested in the environment, maybe even a precursor to the environmentalist movement, and he's celebrating this magnificent work, this great red gum, and giving it the character that we would find perhaps in a person. It's all there. It's a stunning piece. There's lots more here to see. So what I'm going to do is encourage you all to come and visit the gallery when we do reopen and enjoy all these wonderful artworks in the flesh. So thank you for coming along with me on this little tour, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you.